Antique shops are sanctuaries of nostalgia, filled with the ghosts of yesterday. Sunlight streams through dusty windows, illuminating forgotten treasures, lockets, books, porcelain teacups, all whispering stories. For many, especially women, these shops offer a peaceful escape from the frantic pace of modern life. They feel safe, comforted by the past. But sometimes, the most comforting places hide the darkest secrets. The trust we place in a welcoming smile or a familiar setting can be a dangerous vulnerability. We assume a place dedicated to preserving the past is safe, and its curator, trustworthy. This assumption can be a fatal mistake, turning a haven into a trap. In the heart of a quaint town stood Harrow's Curiosities and Comforts, a beacon of elegance and community. The shop was immaculate, with polished brass and a welcoming bell. Inside, clutter was artfully arranged, glass cabinets gleamed, and the air was thick with nostalgia. It was more than a store. It was a landmark, a place of belonging. But behind the lace curtains and polished silver, a chilling narrative was unfolding. Evil does not always announce itself with a roar. It often arrives with a quiet smile and a warm invitation. The danger lurking within Harrow's was not a ghost from the past, but a living threat, disguised as a friend. The shop's comforting atmosphere was a carefully constructed stage. Its proprietor was a master of deception, waiting for her audience to take their seats. Evelyn Harrow was the heart and soul of Harrow's Curiosities and Comforts. In her late 60s, with silver hair and high-collared blouses, she looked every bit the benevolent antique dealer. Her smile was warm, her eyes kind, and she knew everyone's name and story. Evelyn was more than a shopkeeper, she was a confidant, a pillar of the community. Her reputation was built on decades of apparent generosity, buying old furniture for more than it was worth, donating to fundraisers, always offering a kind word. Women in particular were drawn to her sanctuary. She cultivated trust with meticulous care, remembering birthdays, setting aside special items, sending handwritten cards. This deep well of goodwill was her shield. No one suspected her of anything sinister. Her kindness was her camouflage, her respectability a fortress. The community saw a woman dedicated to preserving the past and nurturing her neighbors. They did not see the cold calculation behind her warm eyes. Evelyn Harrow had perfected the art of hiding in plain sight. She understood that if you give people a sense of safety and belonging, they rarely look closer. They saw only the mask she wanted them to see. Evelyn's most beloved tradition was her private tea sessions, intimate Victorian-style rituals for her most cherished female clients. By special invitation, a woman would join Evelyn in the shop's back parlor after closing. The room was a perfect recreation of a bygone era, velvet curtains and all. The ritual was always the same: fragrant Earl Grey, delicate sandwiches, exquisite pastries, and a beautiful antique silver sugar bowl. The experience was steeped in intimacy and grace, a space where women could lower their guard and share secrets. Evelyn fostered absolute trust, listening intently, sharing carefully curated anecdotes. Her guests felt a profound connection, believing they were in the presence of a true friend. But the intimacy was for observation, the shared secrets for gathering information. The tea service was not just hospitality, it was a delivery system. The women believed they were part of a charming tradition. They had no idea they were sitting across from a predator. The trust they gave was being twisted into a weapon against them. The secret to Evelyn's plan was hidden in plain sight: the antique silver sugar bowl. Mixed with ordinary sugar cubes were a few laced with cyanide, visually identical, deadly in effect. Cyanide acts fast, causing dizziness, nausea, and eventually, suffocation. Evelyn chose her targets before they arrived, using the silver tongs to select a poisoned cube for her guest, a normal one for herself. The act was so natural, it never raised suspicion. The poison dissolved in hot tea, leaving no trace. Early symptoms could be mistaken for a migraine or flu. By the time severe symptoms appeared, the victim was often already home. Evelyn's method was chillingly precise, a murder weapon delivered with kindness, leaving only confusion behind. No one suspected the tea party was a trap. For a long time, Evelyn's crimes went unnoticed. The link between a pleasant tea and sudden illness was never made. When a woman fell ill after visiting the shop, her symptoms, headache, nausea, were dismissed as stress or exhaustion. Doctors diagnosed migraines, panic attacks, or viruses. The victims themselves blamed work, food, or lack of sleep. Evelyn always called to check in, her concern further distancing her from suspicion. Over time, a pattern emerged, but only as whispers and rumors. "Did you hear about Margaret? Another terrible spell. Poor Susan, her migraines are worse." These were seen as isolated tragedies, not connected to Evelyn. The common thread, a recent tea party, seemed irrelevant. How could a visit with such a kind woman be linked to suffering? This misattribution was Evelyn's greatest protection. She exploited the tendency to normalize women's pain, using it as a smokescreen. The whispers of sickness grew, but never became a shout of alarm. The truth remained hidden behind misplaced trust. The turning point came on a crisp autumn afternoon. Clara Benton, a sharp young lawyer, was invited for tea. After Evelyn placed a sugar cube in her cup, Clara soon felt violently ill. Sensing something was wrong, she excused herself and drove to the ER, saving her life. An astute doctor ran a toxicology screen. Clara had ingested cyanide. The only thing she'd consumed was tea at Evelyn's shop. Police were notified, and an investigation began. Investigators searched Harrow's curiosities and comforts and found a small, leather-bound ledger in a locked drawer. Inside, Evelyn had recorded the names of every woman she'd hosted for tea with coded marks. An X marked those who'd fallen ill, a cross, those who died unexpectedly. The ledger was the key to the conspiracy. Cross-referencing names with hospital records revealed a horrifying pattern. Women marked with an X had symptoms of cyanide poisoning. Those with a cross had died of heart attacks or strokes. Clara's name was there with a fresh X, the latest in a chilling testament to Evelyn's reign of terror. News of Evelyn Harrow's arrest sent shockwaves through the community. The evidence, ledger, toxicology, exhumations, was undeniable. The woman they trusted was a cold-blooded killer, hiding in plain sight for years. The sense of betrayal was profound, especially among the women who'd shared their secrets over poisoned tea. Survivors grappled with guilt, anger, and fear. The investigation revealed Evelyn's motives: greed, jealousy, and envy. She targeted women who had something she wanted: jewelry, opportunity, or simply a life she envied. The tea parties were her method of evaluation and execution. The trial exposed the dark underbelly of their idyllic town. Yet, out of darkness, something new grew. The women who survived and the families of those who didn't came together. They rebuilt safe spaces, this time on genuine connection and shared experience. The story of Evelyn Harrow became a cautionary tale, a reminder that true sisterhood is built on collective vigilance, not blind trust.